Prudential Committee. I don't see two members of the Board of Engineers, which will just be the chief, and the Fire Station Building Committee. First item is
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
get the names of the... That's good.
I'd like to open the Fire Station Building Committee meeting, March 22nd at 2 o'clock.
All right.
I usually take attendance for us, if you
Yeah,
don't
go ahead,
mind.
go right ahead. Take your attendance, whatever
sorry.
is your
I have
system.
myself, Lenny, and Melissa, Chief Goodwin, Marcy, no Frank, Richard, and for my guest today, I have Ed in the corner.
No, Ed's a member.
I thought you said you hadn't voted on him yet.
No,
No, they voted back in
Oh, yeah.
January.
Okay, Ed.
Ed
Sorry
Green.
about that, Ed. For guests, I have Joe from Daedalus, Lisa Morales. I believe you're Winadine. Okay. Matt, I don't know your last name. Who do you represent? Or-
Burnham.
And I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know who you are.
Janet Housley.
Okay, thank you very much.
okay. Next item on the agenda is approve the minutes of the March 8th, 2018. And that was a Prudential Committee meeting. Have the members of the Prudential Committee seen the minutes and had a chance to read them?
I have.
Yeah, I have also. And we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of March 8, 2018.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. This was a committee meeting, I guess, Water Commission.
Yep.
So they'll have to vote before the meeting. Okay, a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 3-0. One thing before I go any further, I should have said it, we started, we are videotaping and this gentleman from the Wigan may be taking photographs from time to time during the meeting for anyone, and it's being audio taped as well. Okay. Public comment on non-agenda items, do we have any? Yes.
Just two items. The first is, have you received any nomination papers, and if so, for what offices and from whom?
They would go to the clerk. Have you received any?
Yes, Frank Houser took out papers for water.
Frank Hauser took out papers for Water Commission.
Thank you. And the other is, none of the water commissioners are here for their meeting, but I would again ask the Prudential Committee to request Mr. Benjamin Hughes resign from the water commissioners. Thank you.
Okay. Next item, Board of Engineers report. Discussions which may include topics pertaining to personnel, payroll, procurement, and operations of the fire department. Chief?
Okay, clearly had a business call last month. Call volume is up significantly due to conditions beyond our control. So the guys have done a very good job. We've had really good response from the department. Everybody's done an excellent job, but we've met all of our needs and requirements during the weather events that we've had. I'm anticipating the grant tanker should arrive in May sometime. I'll be going down in the beginning of May to do a final or 90% inspection. We can hear back from the KME regarding the time at which it will be ready, and we work on a date on and do our inspection. So that'll replace the military tanker, and we'll take that out of service, and then we'll have a trade compliance issue. Just so that the board is aware, I received a correspondence from the Fire Chiefs Association that on March 9, 2018, the legislature approved basically the acceptance of OSHA being the minimum safety standard for all public agencies. So I'm not sure how that will specifically affect most of the requirements as far as training and like fit testing, things of those nature we already do. It's things that probably pertain more to day-to-day operational issues that would apply to industry that normally haven't applied to us in the past. We'll have to see. I'm sure this will be modified and massaged between now and next year in its implementation time. So I'm not sure what impact that will have at this point. It's way too soon to say. There's other places that are OSHA states, and they all have their own variations of how each state has done its own thing when accepting OSHA regulations, to what extent they apply to public safety agencies. So I just tell you that there may be changes in the future. I will look at what the wide-ranging impacts could be, then how the state chooses to address, accept, or deny things as they apply. But that may be an issue in the future as far as expenditures for things that we have to comply with that we currently, I'm familiar with a fair amount of things that we need to comply with that we do now, like all of our fit testing, RSCBA maintenance program, hazmat training and other trainings for infection control and those things. We currently meet or exceed those standards. There are a bevy of standards that apply to industry that clearly I'm not familiar with. So I will dive into those at my nearest convenience when I don't have a few free minutes at work, and I will see what I can start digging up. I've been in contact with FCAM. They're going to the Department of Public Safety to facilitate a meeting to see if we can get some input as to where we probably need to go, you know, as the fire service as a whole. But like I said, so that's.
We're not unique. Every city and town in the Commonwealth is going to have to address this.
And the like I said, as I said to the water, I talked to Kevin briefly this morning. Right. That they may affect the water department. They're public employees, so it's probably going to affect them more than me in a lot of ways. So the water commissioners may be. Hey Frank, just to bring you up to speed. I got a lovely letter from the Fire Chiefs Association that the Commonwealth has accepted all the OSHA regulations now, and next year, on February 1st, match with the OSHA state. Oh. So here, I'll fire this down to you. It's probably most pertinent to you. So the implementation date will be February 1, 2019. But I said operationally, the department's done well. Payroll kind of took a little bit of beating, but I think we had a slower period in September and October, so I think we've counterbalanced that now. So the law of averages has kicked in. So budgetarily, I think we're doing okay. Everything seems to be going so far. Knock on wood, I've had some minor mechanical issues, but nothing I would deem as significant problems. We had some damage to the light tower on engine 1 during the storm. We caught a little low-hanging wire in the middle of the snow, and it kind of damaged the housing, but we'll work on that, but nothing that I would deem as a significant problem. Any questions?
No. Any questions from? Oh yeah, no question about it. No question about that. Extremely busy. The guys did an amazing job.
I'm very proud of all the guys. Everybody kicked in and did a very good job. And like I said, we were able to maintain, without calling for help, we were able to maintain the call volume even when it got extreme, you know, even beyond our normal. But no one else was available to come anyhow, so they did a good job. Guys did a good job.
I don't think I told you this, I had to call the station for my neighbor's house to get a tree on his roof.
Yeah.
And Conrad happened to be on the phone, and he was awesome. Very respectful, very efficient. They were out there like that. Awesome.
Well, we're blessed. We're blessed to have such dedicated people.
Yep.
No question. I don't think anyone in this room would argue that point. Okay. Item 5, report from Fire Station Building Committee. Discuss RFQ with Mr. Sullivan. We now have, I finally got the document, in written form. Frank,
Hi.
you get the document with the RFQ? You do?
Yes, I do.
Have you had a chance to look at it?
No, I haven't.
You got a week actually to actually, if there's anything else, I can give you a quick update.
That's what I was gonna say.
I meant,
You reviewed this.
yeah, I'll say
Repeatedly.
So end of January, obviously, I put the document together and I forwarded it over to town council, basically, Nancy Kim. And she and I went back and forth on, I gave her some recommendations, she gave me her recommendations. I was able to implement them, and I went through each one just to make sure it made sense for the sequence of what we're trying to do for the district. So, based on that compiled, corrected document, I sent it back to her for final review. She sent back her final comments, and I implemented them in that. I ended up tweaking the dates on it just to make the advertisement dates work because of the time lapse. I believe the Central Register ad is going in today, which wouldn't be published till the following Wednesday. So why I say you have a little bit of time. If there's something significant that you see there, I have time to make an adjustment on it between now and then. But I felt it was prudent to get it into the Central Register today because there is a time lapse before it actually gets posted. Okay, I'm looking for a 4-week turnaround from the time it's actually posted in the Central Register to the time we get the proposals, and then I put some dates in there for review, interviews, and then decision on behalf of the district. Part of the provisions are that you're able to reject any and all if you feel that the services that or the provisions that they're giving you are satisfactory. So you're not on the hook if you get one of those individuals in there, right? The definitions, the description, and the requirements in the RFP meet all of their requirements for the procurement for the services moving forward for the design of the fire station.
Can I ask who Sydney Bragg is?
She works for our office, so
Does she have a title or anything? I mean, not just.
yeah, she's my she's an assistant project manager, but she's our office administrator that takes in any of the RFIs or on an RFQ or RFP, and then issues any addendum if there's any clarification that's needed for any individuals. She also does the budget procurement and reconciliation with the town treasurer to make sure that the funds being expended are tracked appropriately on the overall budget as we move forward. Minus report will be sent to her, and then she'll reconcile it.
Any questions?
Point of order, did the fire station building committee meeting?
Yes,
Okay,
it was formally,
thank you, my absence.
formally in session,
Thank you.
and will be added to
Yeah, my roll call.
the roll call.
Engineer, for late.
Tardy.
I'll be tardy, but never wait for dinner.
Fashionably, that's all. So one of the things that I would ask is if there are any comments or reconsiderations on some of the document, just to forward it to me so that I can make one document. And I'm kind of the keeper of that document right now, so I just want to make sure we will implement any if you find any inconsistencies or changes that you'd like to see.
I read it online on the computer as best I could, but this is the first hard copy, so I'm gonna, I'll go through it. But I got a feeling that a lot of eyes have already reviewed this, so.
Yeah, it's always nice to,
Yeah.
I get,
You
they
never
call
know.
it
You
white
never know.
vision. I look at something so long, I just keep looking at the same mistake all the time, so I
Yeah.
like when other people look at it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 10 or 15 sets of eyes are better than one.
And what was the, published date it's going to print?
It's gonna be, it goes into the Central Register today, the following Wednesday, so it's gonna be,
Next Wednesday?
yeah, so, March 29th. Let me look at my type real quick.
March 27th,
28th.
28th.
on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
28th.
husband's birthday, I know what it is.
He keeps reminding me anyway.
It'll be out on the 28th.
He's anything like anyway.
So that just means this document will be issued to any people inquiring about it.
Mhm. So it behooves all of us, if we have, to go through this, and if we have any comments, to get back quickly, so that if any changes need to be done, it's done before it's published.
So it typically goes in before 2 o'clock on a Thursday. If we get any feedback, so sometimes there's a minimum timeline that they allow you to issue an RFQ or RFP on, so they'll, if I put in for 3 weeks and they may say no 4, so I won't know that until I get the reply back, so. But if that changes, I'll just tweak it accordingly, so.
Mhm.
And then we'll set up, our next meeting, we'll set up timelines to review it, discussions, and then shortlist individuals for an interview. I don't recommend picking anybody without interviewing them first.
No.
Paper looks wonderful, you get them in front of you, it's a different animal.
We went through it with the feasibility, and
Yeah.
we certainly should follow the same procedure for the actual.
You'll get a lot of interest, I'm sure of that.
That's all.
That's good.
Anything else from the fire
No.
station building?
Unless any of the other members have anything.
If I see corrections on your thing, I just send you an email?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I have one other item before you.
Sure, go ahead. You have the floor.
I went and received a proposal for a survey, because we have to move forward with the survey for that property. I submitted it, I requested 3 separate prices, I'll forward the other 2 over. The one I forwarded you was the most economical for the services being provided. Part of that cost is gonna be a shared cost, because we're doing a portion of the water district as well. So that proportionate breakdown, I'm gonna have actually the surveyor break it out so that we can accommodate what the costs are associated with both of those interviews, so there's no confusion on it. He's pulled a lot of the information together, but he hasn't received a signed proposal back to him yet, so that's something that we may wanna talk about either next meeting. I mean, he's doing the work right now
Okay.
as under good faith, and like I said, I'd just like to get him the formal signed proposal when we have an
To
opportunity.
schedule a meeting to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Anything else? Any questions? Budget reports, all boards, final budget.
Mine remains the exact same,
That has not changed.
1.86% increase. And the exact same items as previous.
There aren't any changes as far as the water is concerned, or
Okay, they didn't
My
have any
budget.
changes with the recent contractors. That didn't affect it.
No. Money's already allocated.
well, I would have to talk with, I don't know if the
Ben
union.
has those figures.
Right, I don't know if the union contract is final. Figures came out, so they may be a little bit behind on their salaries or the payroll.
But certainly before you vote on the final budgets,
Um,
have that.
You still had ample time before
Okay. Oh,
the closing of the warrant
yep.
That was the holdup, was that,
for the union
union
contract.
contract.
Yeah.
I haven't seen, I don't even think it's out yet,
It's tentative,
tentative,
yeah.
so,
We haven't heard back.
Charlie, didn't mean to cut you off, I thought you were done.
Well,
You didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say something, I thought you were done speaking, but I stopped.
No,
because you were-
no, I am.
You are done?
We-
Charlie, for budget reasons, or for budgetary, and the Engine 1 project, I just wanted to make sure that we're considering and moving forward where we have some funding in place, where we've been able to put some money away every single year to go towards that capital expense. Engine 1 now is 30 years, in April will be 30 years old, and we need to probably look at that. I've been looking at several options. I know something we have talked about in the past, but have kind of danced around, was lease purchasing. And I've spoken to several departments about, they do that. I just don't know about how it applies to a town versus a fire district. So that would be my only, if we look at that option, an option to look at would be that. And then also commercial versus custom. So those are other options I've broken out for pricing purposes to look at in the future. So, but it's just something on the radar that we need to,
I don't know if I can talk talk about the leasing portion, because I'm not sure what the rates are, and we do have a lot of capital expenses coming
Well, no, that-
in the
but-
district, so I mean, we're looking at some major capital stuff that could be coming down the line shortly. As far as custom versus commercial, I think at this point, as much as you're looking at commercial, we're probably talking $500,000, $600,000.
Probably, well, a custom would be 500 and up. Commercial's probably around 400 to 450.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I priced out a commercial unit price, you know.
I've seen some outrageous
Well,
prices.
yeah, if you wanna put every, like, you know,
Over $1 million for it, yeah.
if you wanna put every bell, whistle, and accoutrement that you can find, that's,
I don't.
well, you understand
We can't
that,
afford it, I mean, that's.
you understand,
to be honest.
but you understand that the fact is this, there's nothing other than I look at a baseline fire truck, I'm not looking for anything beyond, but, I just want to,
Common
once
sense
again,
says we need to replace.
that it's definitely something, like I said, the truck, it's showing its age, and I know we've talked about it before, I just wanna keep it on record that we need to move forward, and like I said, if we can even add some little, you know, continue to add small amounts of funding into the account till we get to the point where we can do that, but that's definitely on the radar.
Oh, no question, and we certainly haven't forgotten it.
No,
It's been on our radar now for 2 or 3 years, that, you know, 3 years ago, we talked about this, replacing more,
Yeah.
replacing that vehicle, so we've asked you to kind of Band-Aid it and keep
Yep.
it going, and because of, you know.
No, absolutely, like I said,
station was in the
there's a lot of stuff going on at once, and we've been
So,
working
we
together
didn't
very
wanna
well in
just-
that respect.
Yep, so, you know, if you, we're not forgetting it.
No, absolutely not.
And like you said, try to put a little aside.
Like I said, I just want you to know that I've been looking at other options to bring forward.
Okay,
I'm not sitting idly by.
no, by all means.
So that's good for us to know, because like I said,
Sometimes a deal comes up, I mean, I've seen deals come up where, you know, fire chief shows and things, you can get a show special with, you know, hey, 3 nice vehicles was
Well, like I said,
on
I'm-
the low end of dollars, so, you know.
The other thing is, like I said, you know, we've been applying for grants. Every time I get a grant availability, we apply for grants as frequently as we can, so. I mean, the tanker was that lucky,
Yeah.
we hit the lottery on that.
Why couldn't it have been the engine? Oh, I'll take the tanker.
I'll take the tanker, I'll take what I can get.
But you know, by all means, it would have been nice if we.
I concur.
But hey, that's it, that's just the way it works, you never, it's a. Yeah.
we do have 210,000 in the new vehicle account, so.
Yeah, we're basically halfway to a,
So if we can continue to put money in that account, we can certainly minimize the impact of purchasing a new vehicle. Yeah.
Whole chunk of land, it doesn't have any like, the houses.
so anyhow, thank you.
Okay.
A lot of
And
to
we-
carry around, plus that whole military.
Well, I got you. You know, we're gonna start, in fact, there's a item 8 on our agenda. We're gonna talk about that shortly. But, I did ask you to look, just in case, because we're gonna have public hearings and public meetings and talk to people about what for the disposition. I know it's a couple of years away, or better, for the old station. And we need to have an accurate idea of what the costs are.
So-
Because we need to be able to present that, you know, in other words, I'm saying to
No.
you, that if we kept that station, how much additional?
About $25,000
And that's all you require in your budget.
to keep that operational at this
Keep
point,
that
would be
operational.
approximately 25. In today's figures, if we, you know, we can build out on it, but as of today's figures would be $25,000. And I'm waiting to hear back. I spoke with, as I told you guys before, I spoke with Chief Weston from Carver. So when he has a full year of data to give me on what the new station cost, I'm gonna try to project out before the new station opens, that operational budget for that period to reflect what the projected, his costs in running his building are. That'll give us a rough idea of what our costs will be for the new building. So the year going into the new building, we'll have an idea of what those numbers look like.
Of your exposure.
Yeah, so we won't be blindsided by a higher or lower or break-even number. We'll know where we're kind of at. So he has said he will prepare some pretty detailed information for me based on, he doesn't have a lot of data right now, but he says once he has enough, he would present to me a significant you know, a good breakdown of how his expenditures run in that station, so we'll have an idea where we're going.
Yeah, because I like to have that also for when we have our hearings.
Yep.
So that the citizens can see it as well, because they're gonna have a lot of input into what happens.
Absolutely.
They may not wanna keep it.
Well, like I said,
That's their decision.
But
It's
I
their
wanna,
building.
I wanna
But
give them.
we
as
need to
much
have the information. to
Absolutely.
advise them.
So like I said, I know the 20, I gave you the number of the previous 25,000 is currently, in today's figures, what it takes, you know, if we use it as kind of like a lily pad, a little, you know, we're not gonna be in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with all the electricity on. We're not gonna have the same needs as if everybody's there all the time, so about $25,000.
Plus whatever.
Yeah, and any increases, like I said,
Plus whatever inflation happens.
there may be some, you know, like I said, clearly, the cost of natural gas, electricity, we can't control those variables.
Okay. Vote by the Prudential Committee to assist water commissioners in purchasing new meters. Mary, you would propose,
Yes. I was given a figure by Kevin, the estimate is 316,000 for the meters, and I think the chief was going to look into that.
Yes, we did, so,
You can give that report.
I'm Kevin, in touch base with you. I looked into HGAC for procurement, and they are under their contract. Sadly, they have a regional, how can I say that, I give the terminology. Basically, they can't sell in the Northeast. The regional rep in the Northeast will not, we have to go through their Northeast rep. We can't go through the HGAC to procure the meters. I looked in MAPC and they don't offer them. They offer some other things, but not the water meters, so, but HGAC did have them. But once we found out, I'd given Kevin that information, he talked to to them, and they said, no, the New England rep, you have to go through them and their pricing, so clearly there's a regional, they have a regional agreement as far as the procurement of those meters, but, so we'd have to do the bid process and the other things, you couldn't go through the procurement cycle through HGAC. So, but we tried.
why would they even bid on it if you know, here in the Netherlands, if you can't use it, you know, it just doesn't make any
Well, it's funny because HGAC will bid to the company. And some will cover the entire country, some will only be regional. But they try to provide the widest array of things to the most people because they're actually quite good at what they do, but it's just those little idiosyncrasies. Certain companies, clearly they require more money. That same meter in New England costs more than it does in Texas, evidently. So clearly the Texas meter is cheaper to produce than the New England meter.
Okay, so going back to the free cash, we have free cash certified for $485,795. Out of that, spending $50,000 is going to the OPEB. $25,000 went to fire department protective clothing. The balance would be $410,795. The water meter estimate that I've received from Kevin is $316,000. It would leave us with free cash balance of $94,795. So you do have the funds to give to, or let the voters vote to spend the money for the meters. It would have to be an article, obviously, for the warrant.
Yep.
And part of the concern, I believe, of the PRUCON was that the water rates not go up if the money was going to them for the meters, because obviously they've been behind the 8 ball with installing the new meters and not having the funding. As soon as the meters are installed, obviously water revenue will go up because there's more of an accurate reading with the new meters proposed